Welcome back to part 3 of this fully loaded Fly the Maddog X with FS to crew. We are about 80 miles away now from top of descent, so it's time to start planning everything for top of descent. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and set the decision height in, which is going to be about 500 feet. Do that by rolling this wheel. As with all the wheels in this aircraft, takes a little bit of rolling, so you will need a rolly wheel mouse to make this stuff work. I'm going to set this to 500 feet. Come on. Rolly, 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 rolly. Now, as with the takeoff, there is a approach brief. I don't know the correct things to say. And again, there are two key phrases. One starts the approach briefing and one finishes the approach briefing. I'll go through those two key phrases in a moment when I've set this in. Hang on. Halfway there. Weather, by the way, is exactly as it should be. Lots of thunder, lots of wind. You can see 117 knots down here. Off the nose on the port side, so that's about to become 117 knot crosswind. Oh my goodness, come on now, 400 100 to go. We've got a countdown here, by the way, to our VOR that we've tuned in. See 7 miles away. We'll tune in the next one in a moment. 490, 500. Right, so here's the phrase that starts it. Are you ready for the approach brief?
I'm ready.
And here's the phrase that ends it. Any questions?
Captain, we're doing an autoland today?
No.
Okay.
That's it. All we need to do now is whiz on down, make sure that the TCAS system is set to look below the aircraft, not above it. So that's all good. Let's look at our charts real quick. We'll find that next. Oh, I'm turning, so let me adjust my heading bug to just make sure we're following correct procedures. There. Okay, so let's go look at my charts. This is the wrong chart. This is all Atlanta, so we're going over here to Memphis. There's Memphis. There is our arrival. Now, I don't think we're using vans, are we? I'm not sure. I will set the right thing in there, which is 112.4. So we'll go ahead and do 1-1. Yeah, we're not using vans at all. Let me go look down here. That's SIDS. There's stars. I can't remember which one we chose. Mona. Here we go. Okay. Are there any VORs that we can tune here? Actually, no. So what we're going to go ahead and do is tune in ILS there, which is 111.95. Final approach course 178. 111.95. That's going to completely screw everything up. 111.95. So getting that ready. And our final approach course we said was 178. So that is all set. In a moment when I finish winding. Now the next bit is my only worry with this video actually. I've been doing... What the hell? Oh yeah, ILS is flashing because we don't have it. That's fine. I've been doing descents using descent now. So what I can do is come on down here, I can click on descend, check everything in here. So our descent speed, Econ 7, Mach 0.75, transition at 10,000 down to 240. Everything looks great. And then what I would do is click on descent now and execute. That I've found forces the auto throttle system into clamp, which means you're adjusting the adjusting the throttles by hand all the way down, which is not particularly pleasant. It's a quite a peppy beast, this aircraft. So playing with the throttles, you'll get some significant changes in the rate of descent as you adjust the throttles. I would like to get the aircraft to do a proper V-NAV descent. Reading the FCTM for the MD-88, apparently all you need to do in an MD-88, this is where I'm worried because I don't know if this is going to work in the MD-82, is just set a lower altitude. And when you get there, the aircraft will just do its thing. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Lowest altitude we want to set is 3,000. So I've set that up now, ready for when we hit top of descent. We're not going to descend just yet. We're still in V-NAV level, which is correct. So we'll see, once we hit top of descent, if everything goes to plan, and this flies a bit like an MD-88, I'm not sure, to be honest, then it will do a V-NAV descent, and we will remain in FMS speed on the auto throttles as opposed to clamp. If we go into clamp, then I'll show you how to work that. It's just a bit of a pain. When we get a little bit closer, I will do the actual descent check. Until then, I'll cut it right here. All right, 20 miles out from top of descent. Let's go ahead and set our speed bugs for landing. We can do that because the aircraft calculates it for us. The add-on calculates it for us. Switch this into landing data. 207, 164, 153, 144. Flaps 40 we're landing at. Notice the flaps extensions 0, 15, 28, and 40. That's important. It's not like a Boeing 737. Those are the call-outs we're going to need to make. So our V approach is going to be that plus 5, 140 knots. Let's click on this. And then click on it again. There we go. The bugs are all set. We can close this. Descent check.
Descent check. Fuel quantity. Minimum
Check.
pounds for our alternate is good. Approach briefing.
Performed.
Landing data.
Set.
Descent check. Completed.
All right, he's all good. Now the moment of truth. We'll see in about 15 miles whether my cunning plan works and the aircraft will just descend on its own or whether I have to do it myself. Not a problem if I have to do it myself. It's just I got a feeling I don't need to. We'll see. Okay, only about 2.5 miles out now from top of descent. So what I'm looking at is this. FMS speed, nav track, V-NAV level, and this, which is my vertical speed indicator. I want to see if this, what changes. I don't know if I can pop these out. It looks clickable. No, I can't. Okay, so V-NAV coming up on top of descent now. V-NAV level. V-NAV descent! Yes! That's awesome. I didn't know I could do that. Which means if we look down, the throttles are retarding as they should. If you do a descent now, they will go into clamp mode. What that means is, I'll talk you through it while we're descending actually. Let's pop this back up here. You will see the green banana here, which is where you're going to level off. You can see that stretching way out right now based on the current descent profile. In clamp mode, you control that with the throttles. So basically in clamp mode, you'll go into IAS hold. So you'll hold the current speed and then you adjust the rate of descent with the throttle. So if you're holding, let's say 275 knots or Mach 0.75 as we currently are, and you give it more power, obviously the aircraft is going to level off because pointing nose down with more power is going to overspeed. So it will level off and it will shallow the rate of descent. Similarly, if you want more rate of descent, you pull the throttles back towards idle. The fact that this does V-NAV descent, which I really didn't know, and I've done countless flights in this now. I like to do descent now because, you know, simulating that there are passengers in the back, it's better on the passengers. It's a fairly shallow initial descent, about 1,000 feet per minute, rather than simply nosing over as we just did to an instant 2,500 feet per minute rate of descent. It's just nicer for the guys in the back. That's why I do descent now. But apparently, if you don't want to mess with the throttles, which I'm recording, anything that can go wrong will, then you can just let the aircraft do it itself. You just need to make sure that you have your lowest altitude set and let the aircraft go straight away into V-NAV descent. How awesome is that? Anyway, here we go. So let's wind the range down on here. Not seeing bottom of descent here, other than my green banana is stretching out to there. So it's going to be around about there, which is correct. We're actually going to be in the right place at the right time. We can check that with the charts. That's why we have charts. Mona, there. Let's make this a favorite. There it is. So now, by the way, this is Navigraph Charts Desktop. I highly recommend you to get Navigraph subscriptions that give you charts and nav data. So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be coming in this way. Now, I said that my transition is, I don't think it's Zamet. I actually said it's beyond Zamet. So I'm not sure how that maps up to what we currently got going on over here. There's Mona. No, we are Zamet, and then we're going to transition out of there. So we are going to come in like this. So 10,000 feet at home, 6,000 feet here, 4,000 feet here. We can check that we have those constraints in the CDU by popping this up, clicking on legs, and there they go, 10,000. It's actually 7,000 here, not 6,000. Although it is saying 8,900, sorry, 7,000 or above at this waypoint. Sorry, 8,900 here. Let's look at that chart again and look at Mona. Mona, actually, we need to be at 4,000 at Mona, according to this, and that's going to have us 8,000. So we're a little bit high there, but it does come down just fine. We're not seeing drag required or anything like that, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. If you wanted to at this point, you could go in and change all these things and make them match up to the charts. For this first fully loaded flight, I don't think it's entirely necessary. I don't have ATC. I don't have other traffic around. We're going to let the aircraft do what it wants to do. It seems, according to this, it's going to hit what we want it to hit, so I don't really have too many concerns. What I will do though is bring the range down on this again. There we go. We're going to be leveling out 3,000 feet with Zamet. It's actually just beyond, which is going to be just fine. At the point we turn in, we want to be about 2,000 feet there. Now we do need to keep an eye on these clouds outside the window. If I whiz you down over here, you can see the outside air temperature is -8 degrees. Clouds are moisture. Doesn't matter if it's raining or not, they are moisture. At -8, I could freeze. So if we do end up descending through these clouds, we will need to pop on up here and turn on the anti-ice systems just for a minute or two, just to get through that cloud layer and underneath it. And then we should be good. How's my winds doing? By the way, this is getting annoying. There we go. I still have an 82 knot crosswind, nose and port side. That's going to reduce a little bit, but it is going to be a bit of a crosswind on landing, which is just fine because the flight model in this is awesome. Current flight mode, FMS idle. Correct, FMS idle, descending to 3,000 feet, V-NAV descent, nav track. We are good, just need to get ready for that transition. Now, to get ready for that transition, now would be a good time to call up Active Sky and ask what the conditions are like at the landing airport, which is 122, there, 0.025.
Kilo Mike Echo Mike airport information Lima 2154 Zulu weather wind 241 at 20 gusting to 30 visibility 1.
That's a heck of a wind.
Sky clear temperature 16 dew point -2 altimeter 2975. Advise on initial contact. You have information Lima Kilo Mike
2975 and a 20 to 30 knot gusting crosswind. 2975. We're going to need that in a minute once we cross the transition altitude. Oh my goodness, what have I done? Hopefully this doesn't go badly. Everything so far is going really well, except for my weather radar completely failed. So I'm confident. Let's make sure our heading track is set. 20 gusting 30. Okay, let's unmute FS to crew. Transition.
Set.
Altimeters 2975. Passing flight level 170.
Flight level 170. Armed.
That wasn't expected. There we go. I think I just screwed up V-NAV. Passing flight level 170 now. Now.
Checked.
Now because he misheard me and set the flight level 170, we've actually leveled out. It remains to be seen now if V-NAV is going to descend. What we can do, I think, is click on V-NAV. There we go. And that will force us back into descent. So if you have that accident where you accidentally level off, you can reset the altitude and then click on V-NAV again. That will put you back into V-NAV descent. I'm glad that went wrong. I could show you that. Looks like we're just about gonna miss these clouds. Let's go to the external view. Look, we can go down through that hole. Perfect. What a great flight dispatcher and planner we had. Now bear in mind as well, that green banana is showing where we would level off. Notice these two displays are different, by the way. Not sure what's up with that. That green banana shows where we would level off at our current rate of descent. That's going to change as we approach 10,000 feet. We are going to level off to bleed speed down to 240, according to the descent page over here. You can see it here at 10,000 feet, 240. So that line is going to move on out to about here, which is correct. Now, it looks like I spoke too soon. We are going to go through the cloud, but look at that. The lower we got, the hotter it got. 6 degrees. We are above freezing. No need to throw out the anti-ice equipment just yet. Let's reduce the range on the navigation display and see what's going on. Okay, good. Coming up on 13,000 feet. At 10,000, I put the landing lights out extended off, and I'll put the nose lights out dim. And notice here, because of the constraints, we went into FMS EPR. So the throttles did increase. It did adjust our rate of descent quite a bit. We're approaching 10,000 feet. That's the reason why. You'll see the bug move once we get a lot closer. Now FMS idle once again. So the aircraft doing a great job of maintaining that V-NAV profile on descent. And there we go, approaching 10,000 feet now, the aircraft leveling off to drop speed. You can see the speed bug has already moved down to 240, as I said it would. So the aircraft has leveled off to try to slow down and hit that by the time we hit 10,000 feet. Still in V-NAV descent, V-NAV track, FMS idle throttle. Okay, under 10,000, dim, extended and off on the lights. Approach check.
Approach check. Navigation.
Set.
Approach check completed.
Now we just got to wait until we line up on final before the next set of steps with FS to crew, which really isn't going to be that long.
Yes. Thanks for letting me know. Captain, the cabin and galley are secure for landing.
Thank you. Now you'll notice as well with this wind, the aircraft moving around quite a lot. This is something that surprised me with this as well. I didn't expect the flight model to be this good. Prepared is known for being somewhat on rails. So almost drawing diagonal lines as the nose goes up and down or the wings bank the aircraft or not. It's actually quite fluid though, this one. I don't think this aircraft has an external flight model, but I did notice a couple of times previously when I was practicing this that movements of the aircraft are really very fluid, which is great. Another reason to love it. All right, so 8,000 feet descending. We're going to level out. Well, this one's more up to date than this one, just beyond Zamet, and then hold 3,000 all the way up until our turning point, which will turn around to 2,000. We may get landing gear warnings because we're going to be quite close to the ground and going quite slow as we approach. So it's not unusual for the landing gear warnings to come out. There's a button there which shuts her up. Now, looking at our navigation display, Memphis is actually directly ahead of us. You can see here, slightly off to the left, which means if we start looking around outside these windows, we should be able to see it in the distance. As I said in part one, this is FS Dream Team's Memphis. It is a thing of amazing beauty. Haven't used it on videos before. Oh, maybe I have. Maybe the CRJ one we got into Memphis. I'm not sure. But it's a beautiful airport. Well worth checking out. I think it's there. I think. Could be wrong. That's not it. That's not a thing of beauty. Hang about. Now I'm lost in my own cockpit. No, that's not it. Well, it's like nearly 40 miles away, so that's not it at all. So it really is around about there. You'll see it. We're going to hit it. So we've leveled out at 6,000 because there is a constraint here at Zamet. If we go look in our legs page here, you can see Zamet 6,000 and then 3,000 out or above on the next waypoint. So we have leveled out at this point, which is correct. Now we'll start descending again up to the next waypoint where we want to be 3,000 or above. We'll see what the green banana gives us as we once again go into V-NAV descent. Love that it's doing that. Again, I didn't have a problem adjusting the throttles and managing the descent profile myself. It's just a real pain. You know, you can't ever get it as smooth, I think, as the autoflight system will. I couldn't anyway. The engines are just too powerful. Incidentally, the cool thing with this aircraft is very fast aircraft in the real world, and it's easy to throw out drag actually quite late and at quite a high speed. Not unusual for pilots who are running a little bit behind to come basically screaming into the approach and then drop the drag at the last minute to slow down very rapidly indeed. Not at all like your traditional Boeings or Airbus in that respect. It's pretty cool. And that looks like we're going to do that now as well. Speed currently set to 230. Going to hold that all the way in. Not seeing my green banana, which is a bit of a worry. We are descending. We do have 30 odd miles to go, so I guess we're okay. We'll keep an eye on this. Might need to take over and set the vertical speed myself. And there it is. It just came visible. We are going to be just fine. The aircraft just tipped over and started descending nicely. Good. Memphis now should be around here. That might even be it right there. An airport obviously very well known for being a cargo hub. FedEx fly a huge number of flights in and out of Memphis. Okay, reduce the range on our display here. Getting close, 20 miles. Then we're going to turn basically on final. So let's jump back in with FS the crew and get him doing what he needs to do. Set localizer on nav2.
Set.
Let's check that. He has indeed set it. Just went to the external view. I do have FSFX packages doing its thing, which you can see here. Bit of moisture in the air coming off the wingtips of this beautiful aircraft. Sorry, leading edge of the wing of this beautiful aircraft. I was quite surprised. I hadn't seen that before. When I was practicing this flight, I went to an external view like this and saw that. I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's too cool. That is really nice. You'll see it as we start to bank as well. You can just see it. Very subtle. Not overdone. Look. Beautiful effect. I think that would be Precipit FX from FSFX packages. See if we can see the airport. There it is. Probably quite a short approach. So I'm going to pop this display open now, just to keep a much better view of when the localizer comes alive. You can see the wind now pushing us around quite a lot. It is going to be a challenging landing. We do still have that crosswind here, currently at 30 knots. And you can see we're going in this way and the wind is a direct crosswind. Coming up on 3,000 now. And as we turn on this next waypoint, watching for the localizer to come alive, at which point we'll arm localizer and then see how the autopilot does. Might disconnect it earlier than normal because of the current weather conditions. We're currently underneath the glide slope, which is good. Turning now. Lots of trim to keep the aircraft upright. Let's pop outside and you can see more probably moisture coming off that leading edge. Not as much as I thought there would be. Don't get confused that these are ILS bars. They're not. That's the flight director telling me which way to fly the aircraft if I were to take over at this point. Okay, so let's reduce now to 2,000. And we'll click on that V-NAV button. On the localizer now. Let's start dropping some speed. We're very close. Slats extend. Slats extend.
25.
Speed checked. Slats are extended.
Slats extended.
Flaps 15. Gear down.
Speed checked. Gear is down.
Gear down. 3-3.
Stabilizer motion.
Alright, I am going to take over at this point. There's the marker. A little bit too high. Flaps 40.
Speed checked.
Flaps 28. Flaps 40.
Flaps 40. Set.
Alright. Still too high. Not a problem. There's a long runway for a reason. Localizer capture.
1,000.
Final check. Final check.
Final check. Gear.
Down.
Checked.
It's gonna be bumpy.
Minimums.
500 above.
A little bit fast, a little bit high, not a problem.
Sync
Rate of descent is pretty high.
200.
It's going to be a long landing.
100.
I'm not going around. This has been a long flight in the
50,
video.
40, 30, 20, 10.
And down we go.
Spot lab.
A little bit sideways on the runway there. There go the reverses. They weren't kicking in, not sure why.
60 knots.
There we go. Pull the reverses in.
Lights out.
Not the best landing in the world, but it was pretty close to the center line.
Taxi speed.
I know. I'm not terribly unhappy with that. After landing check. Why Why is he doing go around? There's no need for that nonsense. After landing check. Okay, and that's the point at which FS the crew completely gives up. So that must be the end of the video. Wow, that was a bit dramatic. Not the best approach in the world. Realistically, of course, I should have gone around. I actually want to do a video showing you how to go around properly. There is a procedure to it, which not many people I see on YouTube or Twitch follow. So I will be doing that. Today was not the day, though. Today was the day to give you an introduction to this absolutely amazing aircraft. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. Really. One of the best aircraft that you can get for FSX and prepared. And again, I'm filming this in prepared version 4 because it films better, it looks better. I have a lot less hassle filming with prepared version 4, but it's the same aircraft in FSX and prepared version 3. Well worth checking out. Get on the center line, Pete. What are you doing? Hope you enjoyed this. As always, my name is Frugal. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you very soon.